What's up, Strikers? Odyssey dropped a micro patch, and we're just gonna run it down. I mean, run down the list of changes for you guys right now. Yeah, that's what I meant. Anyways, let's have a look. Alright, so Night Market is a bit tame in comparison to the explosions and firepower of our other maps. We're turning up the speed a bit. Speed zone recharge time, 5 seconds to 4 seconds. So this definitely makes Night Market quite a bit faster paced and frenetic. The move speed boost from the speed zone now feels like it's basically always up, and that means a lot more potential for big plays and saves. Most importantly, this map is now more enjoyable to play. A very nice improvement in my opinion. Alright, Atlas. Atlas can use astral projection to win trades with frequency. This is a minor touch. He'll still be winning trades with said frequency, but he'll be paying a slightly higher cost for it. Win trades with frequency. Atlas trading. That's kind of amusing. Okay. So, if you watched our tier list video, which if you haven't, you should go check that out. You know that we have outlined the inherent problem with Atlas right now in the early stages of this meta. His severe lack of mobility is pretty rough now that we have core flip and so many mobile strikers with many strong mobility awakenings. Knowing this, it makes Odyssey giving Atlas a small nerf pretty comical. It'll be interesting to see what the devs do with him next. Alright, Asher. Asher's special is quite good at stun locking and creating forward pressure. Given how easy it is for her to hit it, we're reducing its effective range and stun power to keep her more in line with other strikers. Base duration reduced 0.35 seconds. Minimum hit duration reduced from 0.3 to 0.005. Weird how they mentioned, quote, we're reducing its effective range, and yet made no mention of reducing its range. Whatever. Okay, so Asher's ult has always been very powerful, both offensively and defensively. Is 0.35 seconds less uptime really going to make her ult weaker? I mean, sure, but only marginally. The more notable nerf is the minimum stun duration. Not so much on the defensive side, but offensively it's a bit more significant. A 0.3 second stun each time Asher's ult hits you made it so that if she positions and times her ult very well, then there will not be much of a chance to clear your goal, save your life, or both. 0.05 minimum stun duration is basically like a fly hitting the windshield of a semi-truck on the freeway. It's kind of funny it's that low. But yeah, I still don't see this nerf affecting Asher goalie very much, but Asher forward players will probably notice it a fair bit more. Drekar, fixing a Drekar bug that made his molten bolt last longer than intended, especially when he selected cast to last. No longer gains creation benefits for this ability. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing, and I played quite a bit of Drekar a couple days ago. But I mean, it's kind of whatever, to be honest. Like, woo, bug's not in the game. Nice, well done. Dubu, our favorite hamster. That's definitely not a typo. Sure is a stalwart defender. Honestly, though, sometimes he also wants to slam. We're giving him some more opportunities and payoff for belly flopping on his enemies, just like he did in the Trigger trailer. He did the thing. He sure did. Summer Assault, cooldown, down 2 seconds. Damage, PvP knockback, that's okay, not much. Okay, so Dubu is already such a strong goalie. Massive hitbox, all 3 of his abilities can be used to deny goals. He only says Dubu. He's got it all. Well, apparently he doesn't have it all. Apparently he doesn't have enough, that is. A 2-second lower cooldown on his roll is not exactly something Dubu really needed, but Dubu players will gladly take this free handout. The damage buff is negligible, but I mean, I guess the somersaulting hamster should hurt a bit more than he used to, and who am I to argue against that? Okay, next we got Era. Magic Maelstrom was blocking off large sections of the map too frequently and effectively. We're increasing its cooldown to make it more punishing when she has a poor cast. 5-second increase on her ult. Eesh, wow. So, now this nerf is quite significant. Era ult could be used fairly liberally because of its pretty low cooldown, especially with extra special. A 5-second nerf is quite big. This means Era players will have to pick their spots more carefully when ulting because it's going to now have an actual cooldown. I strongly recommend against anyone playing Era goalie. Just a small PSA, but she was already not that great as a goalie before, and she is almost unplayable as a goalie after this nerf. Her overall map pressure will be lower from this change. Grabbing extra special on Era is going to be even more important as it will reduce her ult cooldown from 20 seconds to 12 seconds. Era should still be an S tier pick because of how much utility her kit brings to the table, but actually having to think before you ult is honestly going to be kind of lame. I speak as an Era player. Let's see. Luna's whammy, or missile, is a little too punishing to miss. Given its shortish base range, acceleration time, and a stronger hit, we're going to give Luna a bit more opportunity to fish for good hits by reducing its cooldown and more chances for you to launch a random missile across the map for a free goal. Oh boy, 0.5 second reduction. Another one of those. So it appears that with the last line that Odyssey plans to balance Luna around being a goalie. And if that is the case, then they have a lot of work to do because Luna goalie is in a pretty bad state right now. I don't think a 0.5 second cooldown reduction on her missiles is going to move the needle for Luna as either a forward or a goalie. All right, Kai. Kai can deny too many opportunities. Yep. So we're knocking down his rapid firing barrage's rapidness and its range a bit. All right. Cooldown on his primary 10 seconds. So 11 seconds. Range 775 to 650. Okay. I hate playing against Kai goalie. Early in games, he isn't too bad. But if he obtains good awakenings as the game progresses, he becomes extremely unenjoyable to play against. He becomes super fast all the time and almost always has his primary up to deny you any goal that you didn't spend the last 3 minutes straight working to get. This nerf is one I am totally on board with as it makes Kai more vulnerable to being scored on. We'll have to wait and see if it's enough to bring him back down to earth. My guess is Kai will likely be getting nerfed again soon. Rune's combinations aren't as lethal as we'd like. While he has a lot of tricks in his bag, his KO bread and butter bash into unstable anomalies should be conforming knockouts on players close to the edge of the arena. Unstable anomaly primary. Fully formed PvP knockback, 220, 110% power, 250, 125% power. That's a pretty significant increase, honestly. PvP damage, core knockback unchanged. Form damage unchanged. Also applies to unstable anomaly left by Shadow Walk. Let's make one thing very clear. If you're a good Rune player, this change is only going to help make getting kills easier. It's a fairly significant knockback increase. I mean, look at this. But if you're not good at Rune, then this change is not going to somehow make you good at him. This is just the nature of Rune and his kit. Moving on. Rasmus. We're giving Rasmus a bit more mobility and agency over when he can use his whiplash. This should mean he can do more than just death touch unsuspecting victims. Whiplash. All right. Okay. So this is, it's a nice buff to any Rasmus players that want to position more easily in order to pull random bunnies into the center of Amy's app. Honestly, though, it's not much of a notable change, and there's not really much to say here. Okay, so moving on. Goalie gear. So momentum boots. Move speed per stack. 1.5 to 1.75 seconds. Max speed 20% to 22.5%. So these are already quite solid. Even just the flat 5% increase they offer is pretty good. Now they give more movements, they give more move speed per stack, and the percentage cap is higher. If you haven't tried momentum boots, give them a shot. The results may surprise you because they say Goalie gear seems to be a toss-up between strike shot and eject button. We're giving the other options a bit of love, make them do what they want, except better. I mean, this depends on who you ask and who you're playing, honestly. I mean, there's certain goalies you're just not going to run eject button on or strike shot on, so you have these other options here. And the other one is pauldrons. Increase the power 15 to 20. And the increased power is nice, but people have been taking pauldrons for the damage reduction and the size increase. The power is the least important stat since most goalies that take pauldrons are looking for survivability. They're likely not going to be killing the X that insist on sitting in their goal 90% of the game. But hey, maybe this gives them a shot to do it. And then lastly, we got the Awakenings. Extra special. Special cooldown reduction 35% to 40%. I mean, I always felt like extra special was a fine awakening, but hey, another 5% cooldown decrease is something I'll gladly take. Especially after they nerfed Era's ult. And lastly, Monumentalist. Creation hit bonus 20% down to 15%. And, well, this is an overall nerf to Amy's ult, Dubu's ult, and the like. Just means they want Monumentalist to be a utility option first and a damage option second. Not really much else to say here. But, yeah, overall, this is a pretty solid first patch. I'm a little sad that they nerfed my girl Era, but even I can admit it was probably warranted. No real massive nerfs or buffs to speak of. I'm not shocked. The game has only been out for about a week, and there needs to be a longer feeling it out process before any potential major changes are made. Anyways, what do you guys think of this patch? We'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for more Omega Strikers content, and we'll see you in the next video.